How one book changed my life forever. I want to talk to you about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've seen this book, you've read it, you've heard so much about it. The first day I heard about this book, I went straight to Amazon and I purchased my copy. Look, I made sure it was a real copy so I could smell it. Look, highlight, drew on it, I wrote on it, everything. And I want to just share with you 7 lessons I learned from this book. I could spend time just reading to you, but I just want to summarize a few lessons that I got from it. The thing that made me to really buy this book was the summary. When I first read the summary, I thought, wow! And then I knew that Robert Kiyosaki was coming to London, and I booked my ticket, bought the book, and I was there on time, waiting at the door to meet him, just to listen to him teach a few things. That one, that the rich don't work for money. And I thought, hang on, the rich are rich because they have money and they work for money. How can you say they don't work for money? But I came to understand what it meant. That they actually work for assets. They buy assets and they don't buy liabilities. That they work to create passive income instead of working 9 to 5 day and night, selling themselves and their talents for money. Second thing I learned was that financial literacy is the key to financial freedom. Do you know what? I'd not understood that word financial freedom until then. And actually, can I confess to you, I hate the word financial freedom. Because there is no financial freedom. Because I know that when I was very poor, I remained poor. And when I had a couple of dollars in my pocket or pounds in my pocket, I still remained poor. There were always some other thing to do with the money that I was accumulating. And the more I got paid, the more I had things to do. So to hear that the rich or that financial literacy is the key to financial freedom, I had to listen keenly to Robert Kiyosaki and to understand what he meant. And he said, you should visualize your riches. He said, you should educate yourself and your children about finances. And I thought, yes, I was a teacher. And I wondered how we were training children for the future. And each day when I went in to teach, I made sure that I did some reference about this book to the children. And what did I do? I bought my own little book for my own little girls. And my girls, they went through the book and they read the book themselves. Look at that. The third thing which I learned from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that the rich mind their business. Oh, goodness me. How much time do we spend talking about people and, talking about people and not talking about finances? They make money. The rich make money without minding other people's business. They focus on their business. They go for it and they do it. They make money from their businesses and not working 9 to 5, not spending their time working, talking about other things. He said, while I sat there listening to him very keenly and thinking about how I was going to go to work the next day to do a 12-hour shift, he said, your profession is not your business. That woke me up, right? I thought, yeah, I had a business here. I was going to work. I was earning some money. But it struck a chord in my mind and in my brain to make sure that I start thinking about creating a business instead of thinking that my profession, working 9 to 5, was a business and that it was going to make me rich. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love teaching. And I love working for people who are vulnerable and looking after the sick. But I've got a family to feed. I have got, cousins and brothers and sisters in literally a whole village to look after. And my job as working 9 to 5 cannot make me wealthy enough to look after myself and all those people. So that really helped me to start thinking, look for something else to do, look for a business than working on a particular profession, and to educate myself financially. He also said, the fourth thing I learned was that the rich master the history of cooperation and tax. You know, Mr. Kiyosaki said that the rich don't pay tax. Well, they do. But because they master tax so much, they pay so little in comparison to what normal average people pay. And it also comes with the education of knowing how to manage your tax in order to pay just enough tax. You know, he said you should master how to manage your tax and master how to manage your business so that it pays for itself, so that the tax you pay is just enough tax. Wonderful. The sixth thing that I learned from Mr. Kiyosaki was that you should surround yourself with people who are more intelligent than you. You know, in my limited belief, you've got to hang around people who think like you, people who like you, people who would say yes to you, people who would just adore you. But, you know, I also remember Les Brown saying that, you know, you hang around 9 poor people and you will soon become the 10th, you know. And Mr. Kiyosaki was saying very clearly that you should surround yourself with smarter people, people who are smarter than you. That is why when I left there, I did not spend any little time thinking about paying for courses, thinking about paying for more coaching from people like Les Brown himself, like Tony Robbins, name them, so many of them that I literally just paid to sit on their feet like a disciple. Peng Joon, Paul O'Mahony, all these people who are great teachers of what they do, creating their own economies and helping people to do so, inventing their own businesses and inventing their own money, literally printing money every weekend by talking, by teaching, by sharing what they know, what they have learned. And I thought, what a genius, Mr. Kiyosaki. Thank you. And so that is why I'm going to share with you some little summary about 2 other books. You will see why in a moment. The last thing, I said 7 things. One of the last things I learned, there's a lot more, but one of the things is that the rich don't work for money. They let money work for them. Wow. That was hard to understand, right? How do you let money work for you? Because I was brought up to go to work like my parents who are working in 3 jobs. My mom and dad were both teachers. And when my mom came out from school, she went to go and dig potatoes with us 5 kilometers away from home, carry on our heads. I would carry about, call it 100 kilograms of potatoes on my head. And we would do that day in, day out. And my dad would be somewhere else trying to figure out what to do just for us to have a little bit more money. We were living on less than $1 a week. 9 children. And I had to grow up with that notion that we are made to work for money. But hey, Mr. Robert says, the rich don't work for money. Money works for them. What does he mean by this? It means we should learn to work smartly. It links with creating our own economies, where we set up businesses and businesses bring cash flow all the time. So we don't keep working over and over and over and selling our time and selling our talents. He also means that, we should let money not be the focus, but you serve more people. And when you serve them, money comes to you. And I said I'll tell you something about 2 more books. With all these lessons in mind, I had to begin to think more strategically about how I was investing in property, right? I was a teacher and a nurse, and at the same time setting up a business, so I had to take these lessons seriously. That is why I attended Samuel Leeds' course.